Hey guys, Jessica Peterson here. I spoke with Jonathan earlier this morning and he accepted this free video on your behalf, and I'm super excited he did because today I'm going to go over 3 strategies you guys can start applying right away, and it's going to make a huge difference in your business. And I know that it will because we've applied these same strategies with over 50 other restoration companies just like you guys, and it's made a huge impact in their business. Now, right now, you are getting about 90 to 95 people on average to your website per month, which isn't too bad. But the problem is, those are the people who know who you are already, who are already searching your brand. And 90% of people, when they're searching, they won't know who you are yet, especially for restoration. So they're not going to be searching for you as a brand. They're going to be searching for those services. And so for those organic searches, without having these strategies in place, you're losing 60 to 70% of the available jobs every month by not having them in place. Okay. So today we're going to talk 3 main strategies. We're talking about your content keyword strategy. We're talking about citations and then backlinks. Okay. So as you can see, we are here on your website. You have a good looking website. You got most of the basic fundamentals here, which is awesome. When it comes to ranking, Google does not rank based on appearance. It is based on content. So you do need a lot of good quality content. And Google is requiring separate pages for all of your major services. And it does look like you have that. At the bare minimum, you have these separate pages, which is awesome. Google likes to see a separate page for each major service because it allows you to focus on that one service throughout the entire page to be helpful, understand your customers' questions and answer them, and really hyper focus on the keywords related to that service on that page. Okay. And then content is also any videos or images that you have. You want to make sure that every single image on your page is optimized with those local keywords. So this says emergency services. So that's partly there, okay? But we want to see local keywords. So we want to see, if you're basing this out of Austin, we want to see fire damage restoration, Austin, water damage restoration, Austin, mold removal, Austin, etc. Okay, we have to focus on those local keywords that people are actively searching. Now this home page here is the most critical page of the entire website because it ties all of these pages together. So this homepage does need to have mini summaries of those major services and focused around those local keywords like you're attempting to do here. Okay. So that is really, really important. And this homepage needs at least 1,500 words or more of content. If your competitors have 1,500 words, you'll have to have more than they have. So you're going to need 1,800 or 2,000 words of content. And it looks like you're servicing multiple service areas, but don't have the service area pages. So if you want to be found in these areas, you're going to have service area pages for each of those areas. Okay, that's going to be like mini home pages, but for that specific area with summaries of each of those services and keywords related to those services. Okay, so content is key here, and having better quality and more than our competitors is what we're going to need to be able to not only index but outrank the competitors. Google sends crawlers to your website to index all of these pages to learn about your business, the services you offer, and where you offer it. So if you don't have the right content strategy dialed in, don't have those keywords dialed in, then Google cannot send people to your website because they just don't understand enough. Okay, now your top competitor for water damage in Austin is SERVPRO here. But you are actually at an advantage because even though this is SERVPRO and a franchise, these franchisees here are not allowed to really modify anything on the pages they're given. So they're kind of stuck with what they've been given. So you have the opportunity to do better. So diving in and doing better content, better quality content, hyper focusing on the keywords most relevant to what your goals are, and just doing better. More pages, more long form blog content. All of those things are going to be really critical in helping you to be able to outrank these guys. It is absolutely doable. Okay. Now we know when your customers do a search, they'll do a search something like this. Okay. And when they do, we want your website to be what's showing up. And there's 3 main areas your website has good opportunity to do that. The first are generally going to be ads. Those are like cost per click ads and these local service ads. Now, these can be extremely lucrative if you have everything dialed in right and you're using the right type of landing pages and not just sending them to your main website page. But if you don't have that dialed in, it could be really, really expensive and not have a great ROI. So if that's the case, you definitely want to focus on getting those dialed in first. Now, these next 2 sections here are even more important because this is where the bulk of people go. This section here is the Google Maps section, or Google Map Pack, Google My Business Profile. You want your business to be one of these top 3 in this search because 30% of people come straight to the maps and don't go anywhere else. They're going to call one of these 3 companies or all 3. And so when you're not in that top 3, you're leaving that money on the table and quite literally handing those jobs to your competitors. So in order to get in this position, there are a few factors, but it all comes down to optimizing that profile and getting more citations. And citations are simply listing the name of the business, the address, phone number, and website, and listing those in a bunch of directories like the Better Business Bureau, Yellow Pages, Yelp, Glassdoor, Angie's, and Houzz. And even social media profiles are citations. So you need more of those than your competitors have, and it's going to help you in ranking in this map pack. Now, this 3rd section here is the most important. This is your organic section, and it is so critical because 60 to 70% of people, they'll skip the ads, they'll skip the maps over here, and they come straight here to the organic section. So when you're not listed here, you're leaving 60 to 70% of those jobs on the table every single month. So in order for you to show up here, it all comes back to the foundation of this website being properly built and optimized with the right content and keyword strategy, and then supporting that with your backlink SEO. So if we look here, this is Ahrefs, a paid tool we use to see how your website is performing. We can see you have a rating of a 17 out of 100 in Google's TrustFlow, which isn't too bad. That's actually fairly good. Most of the websites we review have much lower scores. So this is pretty good, which is awesome. And this score is based on, this is Google's TrustFlow, okay? So this is partly to do with the quality of your website, more so the power you're sending to your website. And we send power to the website with backlinks. So while you do need a lot of backlinks, you only get credit for 1 backlink per referring domain, because the referring domain is the website those backlinks come from. And so anything over that, Google looks like as spam. So that means we have over 1,700 links here that are spammy, which is actually holding the score down. Okay, so while we do need a lot of backlinks, it's important to understand that not all backlinks are good backlinks. They're not created equal. So we only want to be going after the good quality do follow links that are closely related to the service that you offer. And so that would be going after websites that are like other home service business websites and vendors, etc. Okay. You do have a lot of pages and blogs, and that's allowed you to get indexed for over 160 keywords. But you're only getting about 92 people to your website organically. And when we look at those keywords, you got a ton of stuff that is actually ranking on the first page. Excuse me. But where the traffic is coming in, this is mostly branded. So what that tells us is that most of the people that are contacting you and going to your website are people who already know who you are. So you're missing out on the 90% of those people that are searching who don't know that, who are actually searching for the keywords for their services. You do have a couple on the first page here for grout cleaning and carpet cleaning. There's really not a whole lot of traffic for those keywords. This is a national keyword here, so out of that 150, that's across the entire United States. And so we really have to hyper-focus on those local keywords in your area so that the people that do land on your site, you can actually serve. So again, you do have a couple that are on the first page, which is good. And we want to move those up higher so you get larger percent of the traffic. But we really need to focus on those big money keywords, those water damage keywords, and your main services that you want to focus on the most, okay? So you got a good start here. We just have to push it along further. Now, if we look at your competition, this is their website as a whole. We're not competing against the entire website. We're only competing against the area that you're serving. They're not doing any SEO, which makes sense because they can't do anything to help it. But because this website is so powerful, it is able to push the power back to these service area pages, which is allowing them to rank for keywords and get more traffic. So just this one specific location is getting over 200 people per month on their site. And when we look here, they are ranking, okay, on the first page of Google. That's where their traffic's coming from. And these are those local buyer intent keywords, the keywords people are actively searching for help for those services, okay? So there's a ton of really good volume here that you have the potential to capture and start to convert. But you do need to work on these steps that I've shown you. Again, SERVPRO is absolutely beatable, but you have to have all of these processes dialed in. So please feel free to take this information, run with it, apply it yourself. Or if you would rather have a partner in this so you can focus on what you do best, give us a call at Peterson SEO because this is our specialty and we specialize in working with restoration companies just like you guys. So please feel free to ask any questions, send me an email or a text or a call, and we would be happy to chat. And I would also love it if you wouldn't mind just giving us a little feedback on your thoughts on this video so I can continue to make them better. Thank you so much for watching, and I do look forward to hearing from you soon.